Hello, hello, hello. Martin here with more of your questions in the property clinic. Yes, make sure that you on a Monday hashtag Ask Martin Monday. And yes, you got my Twitter account at TV Martin Roberts. Where you can ask me all sorts of questions about anything and everything. Well, you know, within any reason. I might be able to answer some of them, and other ones I will skirt around the edges and try and fob you off. Something like that anyway. Yeah, make sure you like this video. Bing. Make sure that you subscribe to the channel. Oh yes, join the increasing band of people who get to know when more of this rubbish is appearing in their inbox, if that's what you call it. Anyway, how are you? Hi, Mr. Football Index, hello. Hi Martin, do you feel that since lockdown auction prices have gone up? If so, do you think this is the result of furloughed people watching Homes Under the Hammer and having a go themselves, or possibly the effect of all the auctions being moved online? Well, the thing about auctions is, the more people who are in it, the more likely it is the price is going to go up. The great thing about online auctions is that you can attend from wherever you are. That's very convenient for you. The bad news is it probably does mean that it pushes up the prices because there's more people in the room, not really, virtual room. Therefore, the prices are going to go up probably. And I haven't got some recent anecdotal evidence, but my understanding is that the auctions online are doing quite well. So, is it as a result of people watching Homes on the Hammer? Well, could be. But I think it's actually just because they're suddenly more accessible. And previously, you would have had to have gone to an auction physically. And of course, that's going to cut quite a few people out. So, there we go. Egg Steve. Hello, Egg Steve. This is just brilliant. Look at that picture. Ha! Martin, do you ever feel when looking around some of the fabulous jobs people do on their properties that they have missed a trip by not having a basket full of kittens in the budget? It must add further value to the property, surely. Well, if it's all about impressions and first impressions, then a basket full of kittens is definitely going to make a good impression. I'm not sure what the RSPCA would say about it. If you were doing it on a regular basis, rent a kitten. But yes, maybe we can get around it by maybe having stuffed toy kittens. Do you remember, would you want to get like a kid's toy that was like a purring kitten that you stroked and it kind of, well, purred? I seem to remember that. So anyway, good idea, love it. Roy Pavitt, do you always take your piano on Homes Under the Hammer? Sorry, but I found this too funny not to share. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know, is that still doing the rounds? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Instantly, a lot of people think I'm going to be upset by that whole Mickey take with the whole playing the imaginary piano, but I'm not at all. It's very funny. In fact, somebody went to a lot of trouble to do it. It's hysterical. It's like, well, thank you very much. Love you, squeeze you. Very sweet. So, no. But I do actually take a piano with me? No, I don't think so. Maybe I should start. Cheer me up. Hello, cheer me up. I've been offered a choice of 3 houses. I'm dubious about the sellers, as they are all little pigs. Any ideas which one I should purchase? P.S. The neighbour is big and bad and sadly not doing Panther this year. Oh my gosh. Before I answer the obviously slightly random question, oh god, excuse me. It's a bit late when I'm doing this, so I'm a bit tired. Panther, I absolutely love Panther. It's so quintessentially British and so fantastic at just introducing kids to the idea that you can shout and scream and interact at the theatre. I think it's so important. And the fact that it's looking like the majority of Pantos will happen this year is absolutely heartbreaking. It's part of Christmas. Really important for the actors and actresses and, you know, dancers and choreographers and musicians and theatres that put them on. You know, often they can support the theatre throughout the rest of the year, so the fact it's looking like they're not going to happen is just it's scary, horrendous. And I was hoping perhaps this year to actually do it. So yeah, I've always wanted to be in a panto. I just thought that would be such a fun thing to do. I'm sure it's really hard work and all sorts of things, but I just think it's a rite of passage, and I think it'd just be an amazing thing to do, right? Anyway, hopefully they will return soon. Back to your question, I would go with a straw house, but I'll just make sure I spray it with fire retardant and hope there isn't going to be strong winds, especially that created by a wolf. Angela Dodd, hello Angela. At the beginning and end of each show, we see all 3 of you together. Do you film lots of these segments on the same day? We do. We used to start out filming what we call the Links days, which is me and Lucy, obviously. And we started out doing 5 programmes worth in a day. 5. So we did 5 shows worth of Links. And then we discovered that we could probably do more than 5. So they got sneaked up to 10 and they got sneaked up to 50. And as with all these things, the more you do, the more people think, oh, we can do that then, right? We might as well do more. So we ended up doing like 20 properties worth. 20 programmes worth rather, which is obviously 60 properties worth in every day of filming. And we do. We go to a posh hotel somewhere and we film the links. Yeah, it's the only time I really get to see Martel and Dion. Boom, boom. Cilla Pearson. Hello, Cilla. It's the big 5-0 next year. I'm thinking of buying a property. It would be my first one, as it's I've either been living with parents or rented. Are there mortgage lenders that will lend to people my age? Yes, absolutely. Now, each mortgage lender has different criteria, but my thoughts are that they don't like you being over 70, is it? Or 75 or maybe 80 by the time the mortgage ends. So you could take out a 25-year mortgage quite probably and you'd still be fine. Or if they won't allow that, a 20-year mortgage. There's lots of caveats to all of that though. I'm not a financial advisor. You need to visit a good independent mortgage broker who will come up with a product that's absolutely perfect for you and also a repayment vehicle to pay off that mortgage when it's all comes to its end, because you've got to think about that as well. It's all right paying a mortgage. If you're on a repayment mortgage, that means that part of the actual amount you owe will be paid back as well. If you're on an interest only, obviously it's just the interest on the loan, and at the end of it you're going to have to figure out how the heck you're going to pay it all off. Yeah, but check out independent mortgage broker Danny Ashton. Hello Danny. Hi Martin. Hi. I'm a big fan of Homes Under the Hammer, and I wanted to know, are you a fan of denim? Oh yeah. And what was your favourite era, the 60s, 70s, 80s, etc.? Well, denim, yes, I love denim. I wear shorts, denim shorts, as long as I can. I'm actually wearing denim shorts. You can't see my leg, you can't see my short. Well, I do is just trust me. It's a denim short underneath there somewhere. So denim shorts are fab. And I wear denim, yeah, it's the thing I wear most. Actually, I don't wear any other kind of trousers if I can help it. And in terms of ages of eras and things, I guess it's got to be the 80s, because I was born in the 60s. So I was in my late teens, early 20s in the 80s. And so that's a pretty formative time. So the music, everything that was going on there. Yeah, if I'm buying one of those compilation albums, it's usually now that's what I call the 80s, or, greatest hits of the 80s stuff. Bit of Human League. Don't you want me, baby? So I think but there's other things from those other eras which are also great. So I actually like the 60s, 70s and the 80s. Hello, Chris Wheatley. For your first buy-to-let investment, would you recommend interest-only mortgages or standard repayment? Depends what your investment strategy is and for how long. How long are you in this for? What kind of flexibilities does the mortgage have? What are the payment terms of the mortgage? What are the criteria for the mortgage? I'm not a financial advisor, so I can't answer any of those questions. You need to speak to an independent financial advisor who will give you advice on an independent whole of market mortgage broker. That's a mortgage broker who deals with products across the range from all sorts of banks and building societies, not just the big ones, not just the little ones. There's a whole cross section, and they will be able to line you up with the perfect mortgage for you. Interest only, of course, you just pay the interest, so at the end of it you're going to have to find the money to pay back the mortgage. Standard repayment costs more as you're going along, but by the time you get to the end, you've paid off the mortgage. So it really depends on your own personal financial situation. Chris Rambo Barbie. Hello Rambo. Hi Martin. Have you always played air piano? Is there such a thing? Air guitar, yes. Air piano? Well, maybe I've just invented a new genre here. Do you play physical piano? Yes. Well, Rambo, I do. I play the actual piano, which makes the whole visible piano thing even funnier, because I do actually play real piano. I think I got to grade 5, and then I really need to pick it up, because I really, I really love it. Wendy Clark. Hello, Wendy. Have you ever met a celebrity that you were absolutely starstruck to meet and unable to speak? Well, many years ago, I don't know if you remember a show on TV called The Good Life. Richard Bryars and an actress called Felicity Kendall. And going back to the previous question about eras of TV especially, so I grew up watching The Good Life in my formative years, amongst other things, and I absolutely love Felicity Kendall. Ugh. And many years later, I was in London, living in London, and I went to the theatre to go and see a play called Letters and Lovage. I can remember it to this day, starring Felicity Kendall. And I was like, ugh. At the end of the show, I thought, I'm going to go to the backstage and get her autograph. So armed with my copy of the programme of the play and lots of nerves, I stood at the stage door, not really expecting to see Felicity Kendall. And then below me, who should come out but Felicity Kendall? There was nobody else there. And I was like, that's Felicity Kendall. Oh my God. So I kind of like went, and she looked at me and went, hello. I was like, how about that? and I said, and I handed this program. And it was like, I handed it to her on a page that was opened on somebody else's picture. And I'll never forget these things to stick in your mind, God knows why. But she sort of went, oh, that's somebody else's picture, I better not sign that. So she turned it over to her picture, and then signed her picture. And then I went, oh, la. And she skipped off into the distance. And, you know, I was like, oh my gosh, if only I'd spoken to her, I could have asked her out for a drink. Because we could have ended up like going out with each other. And usually your mind goes into this stupid. Of course, that was never going to happen. But yeah, so Wendy, absolutely, 100%, I was totally unable to speak when I met Felicity Kendall. And I still remember the moment to this day. Adam, hi Adam. Martin, you have an infectious smile. Ding, thank you very much. How do you maintain both those pearly whites and your mental health? Well, I actually did have a brace as a child. It was a bit of a, as it is for any child, a bit of a nightmare experience. You know, who wants to have a brace? Well, you do if you can think about the bigger picture, but when you're 13 or 14, I'm not sure how much you think about the bigger picture. But I was encouraged to have a brace, and in fact, my granny actually was the one who pushed my parents to have a brace. Anyway, whatever. So I went and had a brace, and you know, thank goodness, because they corrected some teeth that would have been very, very sticky outy otherwise. Mental health, well, that's a big thing for us all at the moment, right? So I've been focusing on the mental health of younger people, especially primary school age kids, with my Sadsville project. And I'm delighted to say that, you know, we gave out a free copy of the teacher's version of Sadsville to every single primary school in the UK a couple of weeks ago. And we're getting feedback, and it's really good. Hopefully the teachers are using it to encourage their children just to think about their emotions and reach out for support if they need it. But right now, especially right now, I think we all need to be careful about our own mental well-being. You know, accept that this is a bit of a rubbish situation, and do what we can to be kind to ourselves to make sure we get through it in one mental piece, which is not easy. But I think I learned years ago that you just have to create your own little toolbox, an imaginary toolbox, and you will know what your tools that you need in your toolbox are, things that make you happy. It could be playing with the kids, it could be doing a crossword, it could be going for a walk, it could be tickling the dog, it could be going for a swim. And it's really important that you have that toolbox, and then when you're feeling really low, you need to take one of the tools out of the toolbox and just use it. Go for a swim, go for a walk, tickle the dog, do a crossword, you know, listen to your favourite music, headbang to AC/DC, whatever it is. Because I think if you don't take that step out to look after yourself, we're all going to be in a mess. And I think there's a lot of that being stored up, as most people are saying. But yeah, do take it seriously, and if you need help, there's lots of people there who you can reach out to for support, and never feel like you're on your own, because you're not. Holly Roke, hello Holly. With all the properties that you've seen being developed over the years on Homes and Land, have you ever thought about becoming a property developer yourself? Or are you happily leaving it to others? I am a property developer. I do it. I buy things, I develop them, I move on, I rent them out. This is what I do. It's why I can talk with knowledge on the show, why I run my property training courses, teaching people how to follow in my footsteps and do property development. You know, it can be a fun, entertaining, profitable thing. Which makes you your own boss and all sorts of stuff. So absolutely, I do it. I develop things. Tracy Taylor, what's your favourite colour? Right, dark blue, like Oxfordy blue, or midnight blue, really beautiful, deep, luscious blue, or that kind of beautiful crimson red, that red that isn't pillar box red, it's just more like maroony red. It's probably called maroon, right? But anyway, no, it's not quite maroon. It's that deep, dark, beautiful red. Yeah. Dean Clark has found this clip, which I'm not sure if we can show or not. As in, I'm not sure if Charlie, my editor, is able to insert a little bit. And he's found this clip of me presenting a show, I think, called Up to You, or the 8:15 from Manchester, where I did a series of travel reports for kids. And we went to a place called a space camp in Huntsville, Alabama, in America, where you can learn to be an astronaut. Well, okay, it's a kid's thing, but they take it very seriously. And one of the things they had was one of these, you do see them now in this country, but it was like a big swirly kind of metal thing with lots of rotating gyroscopy things and a chair in the middle. So it rotates on lots of axes and swizzles you around. And the idea is that it simulates an aircraft or a spaceship that's falling out of control, and could you operate the controls in those circumstances? So it's designed to be a bit jiggly wiggly, and they had me in it doing a piece to camera, where I was wiggling around. And no, I did it fine first of all, but then they kept on reshooting it. I think we shot it 5 times in the end. So by the 5th time, I was definitely very queasy. So yeah, not good. Neil Connolly. We all know DMW plays the saxophone. Does he? I don't know that. But are you musical? Yes, I play the piano and I play the guitar. Maybe we should form the Holmes Under the Hammer band. I'll have to find out if Martel can sing. That'd be fun, wouldn't it? I think this is the final question. It's a great one to finish on. Hello, I am Matthew. Hello, Martin. Hello, I am Matthew. Hi, Martin. Hi. You've had a briefcase stolen containing £5,000 cash from some recent lucrative voiceover work. I wish. Which fictional TV cop detective do you employ to get it back? Tosh Lyons, Police Academy guy with voices, Rosemary and or Time, other. Well, I'm other, because I would probably have either Jack Bauer from 48 Hours. Is it 48 Hours and 24 Hours? 24 Hours. Oh, I can't believe I got that wrong. It should call 24, wasn't it? Yeah, because it was. Jack Bauer from 24. Takes no prisoners. Really, really tough nut, right? Either him or possibly Jack Reacher from, the Jack Reacher films. Tom Cruise, I think he plays him, doesn't he? Because they're just tough and they'd get my briefcase back. So there you go. That's your questions for this week. If you've enjoyed that, tune in again. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe. And then make sure you send me your questions on a Monday. #AskMartinMonday on Twitter @TVMartinRoberts. And I will be back with some more of this stuff next week.